Good morning or good evening, everyone, depending on wherever you are joining. And welcome to this webinar on Entgra IoT Server 4.1 release, and also on certain general information about enterprise mobility management and the related principles around our platform. So my name is Inosh Pereira. I'm Director Mobility Solutions here at Entgra. So let me briefly explain what we are going to look at in this webinar. So I will explain who we are in case you don't have much understanding about who we are. And I'll briefly explain some of the use cases and usages of an EMM server and the top features of our product. Also different enrollment types or the ways that we can use to onboard your devices with our platform, followed by a brief demo, and different deployment options that are available in the product, and also high-level roadmap of our product in the coming few months, and also about our strengths. So when we talk about Entgra, we are a platform that provides capability to manage mobile devices and IoT-powered devices. So this is a platform that is capable of providing the ability to basically plug in any kind of a device type with the system. So let's say you have a mobile device on your hand, or a connected light bulb, or some sort of an industrial machine that you want to remotely manage. We have an environment or a framework that we provide for you to develop this kind of devices. So you can concentrate on building your brilliant new product and worry less about the software that is necessary to manage those devices, because we handle those. So this IoT platform that we have built is what is facilitating all of this. And on top of this IoT platform, we have built an EMM solution for managing mobile devices, and also a smart metering solution. And like this, there are different other solutions that we have built. Also, you can build your own solution on top of our IoT platform. So we are doing this while maintaining the highest level of security and best possible flexibility to build your own platforms and integrations on top of our framework. So we have customers from different manufacturing, government, education, healthcare, so these kind of sectors who have embedded our technology and also using our solution as it is. So if you look at our product, so this was started back in 2014, and we are one of the first open source EMM products that are there in the world. So even today, if you search, our name will come up under open source MDM solutions. And we started this product as an internal team of another great open source company known as WSO2. And the same team is now taking this product forward. And we are a WSO2 strategic partner for IoT, EMM, and other integration products related to our framework. So this is a short summary and a history of our product and the organization. So let me move on to the actual product and some of the interesting areas around our product. So as I said before, we have an IoT platform that can be used to control different device types. So on top of this IoT platform, we have built this EMM framework. So this can be used to manage mobile devices. So what is an EMM? So it's a solution that you can use to remotely manage devices, applications, and also the data that resides on those devices. So when we talk about EMM, so there are two main sides. So one is MDM, or mobile device management, that is related to protecting the devices and troubleshooting and monitoring and managing those mobile devices remotely. So these can be like devices that you have bought for your organization, or even personal devices that you are managing remotely. Then also on the other side, there's something called mobile application management. So this involves installing or uninstalling applications on your device fleet. This again can be your corporate devices or personal devices. So basically managing that applications and their data is also part of enterprise mobility management. So let me go on to some of the use cases or the scenarios of this product. So you might have bought a set of mobile devices and given to your employees, and at this point you may not have any idea on how your employees are using those devices, or whether or not they have the required applications necessary to work with those devices. So if they are keeping those your corporate data securely on those devices. So this is why a fully managed device kind of concept comes in. So what this means is the EMM is capable of managing or controlling your device fully in a remote setting. So this same concept may be applied to different device fleets. So it can be your sales staff that is on the field that you are trying to manage the device of the sales staff, or it can be a college that has given their students certain mobile devices for study purposes, or it can be a parent who has given their children certain devices. So in any situation, you can see there's some level of security and monitoring that needs to happen on those devices. So another area or use case would be work profiles. So imagine you are giving devices to your employees, but the issue is now if you are giving corporate devices, they have to carry two mobile devices with them in their pockets, right? So one device could be for personal use. There could be another device for corporate use. So you want to give a corporate device because you want to manage your corporate data securely. But what if you can allow your employees to use their personal phones at work by creating a separate partition on their personal devices, so that they can use their personal devices at work as well? So this is what work profile concept means. So your corporate data and personal data are kept separately, and they don't have access to each other. So this way we can keep the data securely. So on plus side, you don't have to buy new phones for your employees, which eliminates the cost. And also your employees don't have to carry two mobile devices, and they can just use their personal device for work purposes as well. So it's a win-win situation. So the other thing is kiosk mode or dedicated devices. So these are like special purpose devices. You may know them as kiosk terminals. For example, think of a ATM terminal. So this is a dedicated device that hosts one business application, and the device and the system will not allow their users to exit that application and use that device for any other purpose. So this is essentially what a kiosk kind of a device means. So I hope you can see in any of these situations, some level of remote management or security is required to manage those devices. So this is why there are EMMs. So let me go on to some of the features of our product and see how we are tackling these problems that we just discussed. So we have scheduled application management capabilities in the product. So what this means is you might have certain in-house developed applications, or you might have publicly available applications that you want to install on your users' devices. So for example, let's say you have your sales staff and you want to install Salesforce application in all of their devices. But you don't want to go to each employee personally and ask them to install or plug in that device and try to install these applications. Instead, you want to save time and install them remotely or uninstall them for that matter, or push a new version of that application to your sales staff, and you want to do this at once instead of doing one by one, right, in a batch manner. So this kind of thing can be easily achieved with our EMM solution. This can even be done in a scheduled manner, so that you don't disturb your employees who are working during work hours. We don't have to disturb them, so you can do that at a different time. So remote troubleshooting is another aspect that we cover. So what this means is you might have some issues on some of the devices that you have given out. There can be like malfunctioning applications on these devices. So now you may want to go and check what's happening on those devices. So this might be difficult if these are actually in a different remote areas. You may not be able to physically visit those. So our EMM solution can help you troubleshoot this remotely by providing access to logs of the device. Certain files can be fetched, and you can clear out application caches and storage even. Or you can go as far as remotely logging in to a mobile device, sharing their screen, and also you can basically give certain remote keyboard inputs or mouse inputs and troubleshoot this. So the good thing about this is there might be solutions that you're already using like TeamViewer to do this, but we have this capability built in our product, so you don't have to pay for another solution to get this done. So another thing is managing a device inventory. So you might have a lot of devices or even a couple of devices. Still, you want to see if those devices are correctly connected and synced. Basically, whether they have proper internet connectivity, and you might want to track where they are in case they get stolen. You might want to remotely lock that device or protect your corporate database by wiping those devices. So all of these can be done smoothly and securely with our platform. So we talked a little bit about kiosk device management. So with our product, we are capable of creating kiosk terminals out of different devices like an Android device or an iOS device or a Windows device. So we can put this device to a kiosk mode and lock the device down to just one application or a set of applications that you require. So this is what kiosk or dedicated devices means. So we have that capability as well if you have such a requirement. So another feature would be data loss prevention. So it's important it's important as an organization to keep your data secure, but it can be difficult when those data resides on a mobile phone. So to prevent this, to prevent your data getting leaked out or stolen, we have different capabilities such as protecting the device by having a passcode that is very secure. and also mandating password rotations and things like that. Also, we can stop the user from copying data from the device or taking screenshots or trying to factory reset your corporate devices or try to jailbreak or root your device and gain access to some other corporate data that resides in the device. So, the last one would be geofencing and geo-tracking capabilities. So you might be working in an environment where you want to track a set of moving devices. So it could be like humans who are carrying this device door to door, or it can be like a vehicle, like a taxi car, where you have your corporate devices. So it could be a device that is strapped onto a corporate vehicle. So in any case, you might want to keep track of these devices, where they are moving at a given point. And also you may want to see the history of where these devices have moved in the past. So tracking this is definitely available, and our platform is capable of doing this. And geofencing is something related to creating a geographical fence around a certain perimeter and defining rules if the device enters that geofence or exits that geofence. We can create certain rules. For example, when the user enters the geofence, let's say the geofence is your office, and when the user enters the geofence, you might want to disable their camera, and when they exit, you may want to re-enable their camera, right? So like this, you can create a geofence and add certain rules depending on that. So this is just a handful of features that I've discussed here. But there's quite a lot of more features which we probably can't cover within this given time frame. But I hope you got an understanding of what are the main features of the product. Okay, so let's move on to the newly added features on 410 platform version of the server. So again, this is just a few top features. There are a lot more features that are described in our documentation. So first one would be SIM card restrictions. SIM card restriction feature is something related to, let's say you have given out a corporate SIM card, and you may want to block the user from using any other SIM. So in this case, you might want to see a report of where this if the user has removed the corporate SIM card and inserted a different SIM card. So we do have a report now to track this. And also, if the user removes the corporate SIM card, we have the capability to lock that device until the user enters the corporate SIM card. So basically make the device unusable until the user enters the corporate SIM back again. Then again, we have features. We have a feature where we have added a new feature where you can do a two-way chat between our agent that is communicating with the server. So we have a certain application that resides in the device to manage this device. So we have added a two-way chat so that your users can communicate with the server or the admins and get certain things done. For it could be for troubleshooting purposes. So this feature may even be useful for your developers of the applications of your corporate applications. So they may want to talk to your users, and they can use this common platform to do that. Then we have factory reset protection. So what this means is factory reset protection. So what this means is you might have a Google account, that you have added to the added to these devices. So when there's a factory reset, you can make sure the same Google account is added back in order to log into this device. We have also added Android Enterprise integration for fully managed devices. So we already had certain capabilities for fully Android Enterprise, but with this new release, we have added fully managed devices as well into this integration. So what Android Enterprise essentially means is instead of using our own application installation capabilities available in the product, you can connect to Google Enterprise and Google Play Store and push applications through Google Play Store instead of using our platform. But still, you can do that without leaving our EMM console, and through our EMM console itself, we can push applications to the devices. So this is what enterprise integration, Android Enterprise integration of fully managed devices means. So as I said, we already had Android Enterprise for work profiles. In this release, we have added these two fully managed devices. And we are also in the process of basically getting the approval from Google for dedicated device management as well. So so that too will be available in the future. All right. So let me explain about the differences between the IoT versions of the basically the earlier versions of the IoT server and the latest versions. So so in the latest versions, we have added close to 85 new features. So you can go through them once we share the slide deck. Basically, you can go through what are the new features added compared to what we had in the earlier releases of the product. And also there is a 100% performance boost due to some of the new backend changes that we have done. And also we have rewritten the UIs to be more user friendly. So if you have used our product in the WS2 versions earlier, couple of years ago, you will see a drastic difference. And also compared to the obsolete version, now we have added support for all the OS types as well, the OS versions, which were not available in the older versions. Okay, so let me move on to the portals of the product. So basically, this is the device management portal. So when we are moving on to the demo, I will explain about this more. But basically, this is a portal that your IT admins can use to onboard new devices with something as simple as a QR code scan. And you can define rules and applications for these devices using this management portal. So this is one of the management portals that are available, and the application management capabilities are provided through two portals. So what I'm showing here is the application store. So this is a corporate application store you can use for to host your corporate applications, and it can even be references to public applications as well that you can push to your devices. So we'll get to this also when we are moving to the demo. So our platform basically supports Android, iOS, and Windows devices. So these can vary from mobile, tablets, or laptops, PCs. So any kind of device can be used if they are Android, iOS, or Windows. The enrollment types. So we talked about this earlier as well. So work profiles can be used if you are bringing in personal devices to work, bring your own devices. Fully managed devices. So these are corporate devices that you have given out to your employees. And these enrollments can also be dedicated devices or kiosk terminals that belongs to your organization, which are used for a single purpose. So how we can onboard these devices also vary depending on your use case. So one can be just a simple QR code scan, just to scan and onboard to our platform. Or it can be that you want the end user to type in the corporate LDAP or Active Directory credentials and to basically onboard their devices to our platform. That can be done. In case you're building your own Android device, we have done this with a couple of different customers. We can basically embed our application, our management application, to the Android operating system itself, so that the device comes with pre-enrolled enterprise mobility capabilities. Or it can even be just a USB cable plug-in and in onboarding devices to our platform. Okay, so that basically sums up some of the key areas and things that I wanted to cover. So let's move on to the demo to get an idea of what's new in the product and the capabilities of the product. So, okay, I'm going to go and log into the device management portal. So as you can see, all the enrolled devices are available here. So your device fleet, you can basically manage here. And if you want to enroll a new device, it can be Android or Windows or iOS. So you can do this through a QR code scan. So you can see all the different enrollment types that are supported by the product available here. This way you can enroll a new device. So let me go inside one of the devices that I have onboarded here, enrolled here. So as you can see, there are different parameters that we are capturing, like the battery or internal storage statuses and vendor details and serial numbers and things like that. And additionally, there are a whole lot of other parameters that we are capturing from the device. If you wish to use them as well, so those things are also listed. All these parameters that we are capturing from the device. At the same time, we are fetching the device location. So in real time, you can see where this device is. In certain use cases, you may not want to do this. So in that case, we can also disable capturing this kind of location details. And there are operations that you can execute on the device. So you can see an audit log of what went on and when. So you can see what happened on the device. Then there are policies or rules that we might have enforced on the device. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But basically, you can see if the device is adhering to those rules and protocols that we have defined. And also there are capabilities like remote connecting, and there are other operations as well. And basically with the remote session, you can do a screen share with the devices. So as you can see, what's on my right side is the device, and what I have here is the management portal. So you can pretty much go to this device and access the device remotely and swipe or click or give keyboard inputs. So all of that can be done remotely through our platform. Then you can execute certain shell commands or fetch the device's logs. We also have a chat feature which was available recently. So the admin can initiate a chat, and the user will have access to reply to those. So this will allow or help your organization to have a troubleshooting session with the device owners. Right. So let me close the session. Okay. So other than remote sessions, we can always do things like locking the device, or if there's a small issue, you may want to just reboot the device and check. We can do that, or we can issue a hard device lock so that the user cannot unlock this at all, and the admin can remotely unlock that. You may also want to send a notification to these devices, or do a file transfer or from the device or to the device can be done. And also, if there is some issue and you want to just wipe out the corporate data, you can do an enterprise wipe and wipe those data. In case the device is lost, stolen, and if you want to do a factory reset to maybe give it to another person, you can do a factory reset and wipe out all your corporate data in that device. Then you can see what are the applications that are installed on that device. You can remotely uninstall, or you can clear the data and storage used by that application as well. So these can even be applications that the user has installed on their own. You can uninstall them. Also, at the same time, we of course have different policies to block the user from installing unnecessary applications as well. But this is just another capability that is available in the product. Okay, so let me move on. So there are capabilities to things like DEP or Apple Business Manager enrollments. So if you want to onboard devices without any user interaction, those are also available. And users and roles. So these things, so your users of the organization, these can come from your own LDAP or your own Active Directory, and just plug into our system as a user store. And you can just manage these devices, the users here, instead of creating new users just for the management purpose of these devices. Same goes for roles as well. And you might notice there's something called permissions here. So this permission tree is actually related to all the buttons and all the clicks on this platform. So you can define different user roles and assign different permissions. So they can, depending on the permissions defined, they can do certain things or they can't do certain things. So some level of fine-grained access control is provided through this permission tree. You can group devices. Let's say you have some logical group that you want to group your devices. So it can be a certain geographical area that you want to group, or it can be like your marketing department or sales department devices that you want to group together. In any case, you can group these according to some logical requirement, and of course execute certain operations and commands on top of these devices. Policies. So these are like rules that you can define on these devices. So earlier we looked at things like doing a remote session or executing a device lock. That kind of thing can be done on the device. But at the same time, you can also do certain rules, or you can apply certain rules on top of the device so that the user cannot violate those policies. So if I go inside Android and try to explain some of these things on surface, so you might notice some of the new policies that has been added if you're familiar with our product. So passcode policy is related to enforcing the security on our devices and making sure that user cannot enter a simple passcode like 1234 kind of passcodes on your devices, which leads to compromising your corporate data. So you can guarantee the passcode complexity and how many failed attempts until the device gets completely locked out or reset, and also passcode rotation periods. All of that can be defined. We can also control the settings on the device. So you may want to disable the camera, or you may want to stop the user from debugging or installing applications from unknown sources, or uninstalling applications, or certain hardware components of your devices. So basically changing those like Bluetooth or location or sending SMSs. So all those can be configured. And also you can do things like disabling safe boot and factory resetting to protect your devices, and also stop the user from taking data backups. So all these capabilities are available and under these restrictions. And if you're interested in managing kiosk devices, you can manage when those devices should be operated. And also we can define whether this is a single application kiosk that you want to create. We can also have multiple users for kiosk device, and define when they are going to log in and log out, and all of these things can be defined if you want to have a shared device. So application restrictions are if you want to define a set of applications that should not be available on the device, we can define a block list. In case you want to allow only a set of applications and disable everything else, we can define an allow list. We also have a secure browser which we have developed and available as part of the product. So you can disable the other browsers and just enable our browser, and you can define what are the URLs and domains that is allowed to access by the user. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of properties of this browser that we can control remotely and define what the user can do with this browser. Also, we can make sure the device is encrypted, define VPNs or access point names or APNs for your corporate SIMs, Wi-Fi settings, or install certain certificates. So basically, you can push all these configurations remotely instead of going to devices one by one and doing this, which is useful when you're onboarding a new employee and giving them a new device. So this cuts down the time of onboarding. So there are other policies like runtime policies, which will allow you to define what are the permissions that are available for an application. So for example, let's say you have a corporate application and you want to allow that corporate application to access the storage. So with this policy, you don't have to ask the user's permission to do that. So this is a corporate device. You can execute this, you can pre-grant those permissions to those applications. We can also define system update times. That is the OS updates. We can postpone them. We can make sure the OS updates happen within a given time frame so that you don't disturb your users. And also we can make sure certain applications are installed by default when you are enrolling with our platform. So there are other things like this, basically routing traffic through a proxy, or defining what are the peripherals that you can use, or factory reset protection. So this kind of policies are available with the platform. And of course, these policies you can apply to a group or to a role or to a user. Likewise, you can. So these are not just platform general kind of policies. You can define to which device or to which user or to a role or group this will get applied. Also, you can see your device fleet, where your devices are. They will be grouped together based on geographical areas they are available. And you can see all your devices on a map where they are. So this will be helpful when you're tracking where your users are and basically to track these users. So I talked about geofences earlier. So you can define geofence using our platform. So it can be a circle that you want, or it can be like a polygon that you want to draw. So all of that can be done using our platform, and you can define geofences using this, and you can define what are the actions that should happen if the user crosses the geofence or enters a geofence. So basically, that's about the device management side of it. So let me quickly go to the application store. So this is the corporate application store. So I have added certain applications. So if I go inside one application and I can basically go ahead and install this application on the devices that I have. So when I'm installing applications, you can see I can schedule these applications to be installed at a given time, and at the same time. So as you can see, the application that we just pushed got installed on the device. So the system gave a pop-up, Android system, and that also happened in the background without any user interaction, so that we can do app installations, updates, uninstallations even silently. So this app installation can be done to a device or to a user or to a user role or to a group. So you can basically do bulk application update operations on your device fleet instead of doing this one by one. So these applications can be public applications coming from Google Play Store, or they can be enterprise applications. So this portal can be accessed by your IT admins, but if you want your employees also to access this and install the applications as they need, that too can be done. So we have the capability to do that as well. So let me move on to the final management portal that we have in the product, which is called the application publisher. So what this is this is a developer level portal where your application developers, or it can even be your IT admins, who wants to input or add new applications to our platform. So whatever you saw in that application store has previously been uploaded using this portal. So this is an application publisher. So what this means is you can create new public applications or enterprise applications, or it can even be web clips, like certain links to URLs or web apps. You can create and have them available on the device. So when I talk about these applications, we also have something called the application management lifecycle. So what this means is you can have your developers who create new releases and upload to this platform, and you may have QA engineers who review this and give an approval, and at the end you may have some manager who actually goes and make this available in the production, so that that whole life cycle can be defined with our platform and given to different roles, so that it follows kind of a life cycle or a workflow, so that your applications come to production with the quality that you require. At the same time, we have Google Play Store integrated with Android Enterprise. So when you want to import applications from the Google Play Store, you can just browse the Google Play Store within our platform and approve, and whatever that you have approved will appear here as a Google Play synced application. They will be available in our platform. So that's basically how application management happens in our environment. So we also have a set of reports with our product. So it can be the policy compliance status of the devices, or it can be the enrollment and non-enrollment happened during a given period of time. It can be the device online statuses, or you may want to see if certain users have not installed a mandatory application. You can see that. You can see what are the different device types that are available. You can also see if a user has not updated their OS to a recommended version. This is the SIM change report which I talked about earlier, and you can see the devices that are not in certain groups and things like that. So we are actually adding on new reports as well to the platform, and also we have the ability provided to our users to define their own reports as well. So I'll talk about that when I'm moving back to the slides. Okay. Let me present the last bit of last few slides. So the extensions that are available. So I talked about this earlier as well. So this is a platform or a solution that is built on top of an IoT framework. So you can write your own new device types and plug into this framework. So if a new mobile operating system comes in the future, or if you want to connect a different device type, IoT device, that can be plugged into our platform because of the extensible capability. And we are relying on some of the enterprise grade identity management and API management products from WSO2. So this product is built on top of those. So because of that, we have the ability to SSO with some of your business applications using the inbuilt identity provider available in the product. So with that, we provide SAML or OpenID Connect based SSO for your business applications as well. So if you want to use our framework as your identity provider, that can be done. Or else we can use your own identity providers as well. And as you saw, all these different portals that we have are all SSO by default. So the API management capability. So all the APIs that are there in the product are exposed through an API management framework. So with that, we can throttle APIs and protect these APIs through OAuth. And all the APIs that we have developed are developed based on REST standards. So you can consume them, you can browse them, you can view the Swagger documentation and execute those APIs. So all of that is available. If you want to build your own UI experience, maybe you don't want the UI that is available with the product, or you may have different UI requirements. So using those APIs, you can build your own user experience, or you can just connect your own backends, the device management capabilities of the product. We also have certain analytic capabilities. So we have a real-time complex event processing engine available in the product, which is very scalable and cloud native. So with this framework, you can write your own reports, and you can do certain real-time processing as well as batch processing as well. So all these can be done and write your own reports instead of relying on just a couple of reports that we have provided for basic use cases. So deployment options, we have a cloud offering. You can use our cloud. You can just enroll your devices to our cloud and manage your devices. We also have an on-premise offering, so you can deploy our Java-based product on your own servers, or it can be on AWS or Azure. It can also be a hybrid kind of an approach where we manage your cloud environment. So we support that kind of deployments as well. So the product roadmap. So we are working on some of the features to basically track the users' usage of different applications. So these days, it's very critical to see what your employees are doing, especially when they're working from home, whether they are being productive or whether they are using work applications during work hours or not on your corporate devices. And also we are working on certain enhancements to Windows and macOS operating systems. And also we are working on improving our capabilities related to Android Enterprise and trying to become an Android recommended partner. So we are already an Android enterprise partner for different solution sets. So we are trying to become an Android recommended partner for these platforms. Okay. So our strengths. So if we talk about our strengths, we have support services that is provided 24/7 with a very strict SLA, and we have a developer-led support compared to many other EMMs that are out there, and some of the customers that we are seeing comes to us due to frustrated support services. We have a developer-led support. So what this means is the developers who have developed this product are the engineers who are supporting this as well. So we have a certain support rotation for all our engineering members. So they go through support as well during a specific time period in a rotational basis. So they get to experience customer support and interact with our customers as well. At the same time, our customers get the best response time when it comes to resolving a certain issue, instead of having to deal with someone with lesser knowledge on the product or a support engineer. So they get to basically have their developers who develop the product work with them. So this is IoT platform. You can write your own write your own new device types as well. So that's also available. And we provide same-day support for different OS version upgrades that are coming in for Android, iOS, and Windows. And also security updates are provided for those as well for our customers. And we have a very flexible and customer-driven kind of roadmap. At the same time, we do have a mission which we drive our product to. But at the same time, we value our customers and give them priority when it comes to defining features for our roadmap. So most of the time, at least about 50% of the features are coming from our customer requirements. So other than this, I already talked about the auth protected REST APIs, which you can utilize to integrate with your systems and develop your own UI experiences with our platform. So this wraps up the content that we wanted to cover in this webinar. So I hope you found this useful, and thank you for joining with us. And if you have any questions, you can raise them in the chat, or else you can write to us through contact at Entgra.io. So we definitely like to hear your questions and your comments. And if you have any questions, we are glad to get on a quick call and discuss them with you and help you find the best solution for all your enterprise mobility needs. Thank you. So if you have any questions, you can let us know in the chat now, or send us a mail. Yeah, so there is one question about integrating the product with APIs. So yes, definitely we have the capability in the product so that you can browse the different APIs that are available in the product, and you can browse our APIs and you can consume those APIs. And you can develop your own framework, and also different identity integration options that are available. So we have our inbuilt, as I said, we have our own inbuilt identity provider. But if you have different identity providers like Ping or Keycloak or any other identity provider, we are capable of basically integrating with those identity providers as well. If you don't want to use our in-house identity provider, since we are using standards or standard protocols, we can use different identity providers as well. So I hope that answers that question. If there's any other question, I can answer, or else we can wrap up the session. All right, so I guess we can wrap up the session, and if you have any other questions, you can send to us through mail. We are happy to help. Okay, thank you.